All right, so let's put it all together. 5, 6, 7, 8. The next thing we're going to do is talk about how to incorporate licks and tricks and put them in between this chord progression. All right. All right, so I'm going to teach you that lick. I'm going to take my first finger and put it on the 5th fret of the B string and take my middle finger and I'm kind of hammering down. Over here, I'm just, alright. So I'm going to hammer down and then pull my middle finger right back up. And then go to the 7th fret of the G string and the 5th fret of the G string. So slow. If you're still working on the hammers, work on it, but you can also go. Okay? So you got your middle finger starting down, and you're gonna over here hit the B string, and then you lift that finger up. Again. Okay, as you can see, I'm all up in that minor pentatonic shape, okay? Everything I'm doing here is all up in this shape. The only new note is this note right here with your middle finger on the B string. But it should be pretty easy to see, like within the shape, that it's like all of these notes and then this note here, okay? We're going to talk more about that later, but just kind of work on that. Okay, when I slide up here, I'm sliding from the 6th fret of the B string all the way to the 8th fret, sorry, of the B string. Okay, so I'm going. Okay, so let's put that in there. That's another lick I'm doing. Alright, I'm taking my, again, I'm using this minor pentatonic shape, and this is called a double stop. So I'm taking my first finger and barring the G and the B strings of the 5th fret. And then I'm putting down my middle finger on the 6th fret of the B string and my ring finger on the 7th fret of the G string. Down here, you're gonna go up a whole step. Again. The only strings you're hitting are the G and the B strings. You see I'm sliding back and forth. I'm just messing around, guys, moving my fingers around, and you can do the same thing with your own vibe, okay? Whatever you want. Practice it so you can get it, get under your fingers, and then you'll just start hearing, different ideas of how to kind of like add different stuff to it. But I don't want to put stuff in your head of like, remember this, remember this, remember this. Just like the idea, this is a double stop you can play with. And when that noise comes into your head, you'll kind of find it and go to it, okay? So I'm going to take the first 2 licks. So, taking that pinky and slapping it down, hammering it down, and moving it around, that's going to take your R&B playing just to a new level if you haven't done that already. A lot of players like to do this, and so do I, tastefully, sporadically. I don't like to do it every time because then it becomes predictable. But if you're at D minor 7 and you take your pinky and you look there, and you can kind of rest it down right there on the 8th fret of the high E string. Okay, so you got... Alright, that's kind of the idea. I'm arpeggiating the chord again. And then when I get down to that D, I'm going A, D, G, and then I'm hitting. I'm trying to like explain it, it's kind of hard to explain, but when I get to the end, I'm sweeping from the G string on down. Okay, let me move this, you can see. I know a lot of people talk about how do I build pinky strength. I'm gonna do a whole separate series on pinky strength because I promise you it's its own thing in and of itself. Like, you can build pinky strength, and I'll teach you guys how to do that in another video because I want to be more thorough with it. But for now, just kind of memorize this one lick, and it'll be a great place to start. And then. All right. Again, you're kind of taking your pinky and slapping it down. And if you haven't done this before, it's definitely going to be challenging. It's definitely going to sound weird. You're definitely going to make mistakes and stuff in the beginning. But that's completely normal. Just push through that because it'll be worth it if you can kind of get this under your fingers and be pretty proficient with it. Put it all together. 5, 6.